All right, here we go. OG Tray Deee.
What it do, DJ Vlad?
Welcome back.
Here I am.
Like we always do about this time.
Like we supposed to do.
Like we supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and get into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I had a game plan laid out about what we're going to talk about, but I'm going to actually switch it up a little bit.
That's deep.
Okay?
I like improvisation.
We're going to improv a little bit.
Right.
Because I put out some tweets recently that went viral and got a lot of backlash as well.
Okay.
So I want to get your take on it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about reparations to the descendants of slaves in America?
I believe they long overdue. And to my understanding, when they interned the Japanese, they paid them back for, what they suffered, during those times, and different conflicts that America has been in and situations they've made amends to particular peoples that like the Indians were able, I believe the Native Americans were able to have casinos on their lands and be able to make their money back like that, what they had been deprived of, however they equated that.
Right.
But the 40 acres and a mule that we was promised, I'd love to see any parts and pieces of that, start to hit the needy communities of African American people.
I agree. The Japanese Americans that got put in camps during World War II, internment camps, right? It's because the U.S. felt that they might be spying for Japan because we were at war with Japan during that time, which wasn't proven to be true at all. Mm-hmm. A lot of them were just born in the U.S., just happened to be of Japanese descent. They were given $20,000 each, which is a lot more in today's dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
But they were given a chunk of money. The Native Americans were given land, which they in turn were able to turn into casinos.
Yeah.
African Americans got nothing. At all. So I did a tweet recently where I said that I fully support reparations for African Americans.
Dope.
Possibly in the form of a free college education. Everyone went crazy over this. Like everyone went ballistic. I was told I'm a white supremacist. That I'm showing my true
You
colors.
hide that shit good, the motherfucker to me.
I know.
I ain't never got that vibe.
I was told that I have no right to even speak on this because I'm white. I was told that, people want cash and land like everyone else, and it's not up to me, and I shouldn't even comment on it.
It's not up to you. It was an opinion. It was just a perspective.
Yeah. And do I feel that there should be cash reparations as well as land reparations? Absolutely. But do I think in 2019, when 15% of the population in the U.S. is black, unlike the Native Americans that were like 1% of the population, so you're looking at an issue that's 15 times bigger. Japanese were also a very small percentage during the time, the ones that were put into camps.
Got you. They were.
They were, but it was a much smaller group of people.
That's what I'm saying. They were a small group.
It's a very huge group of people, and the talks of reparations have gone nowhere for, 150 years.
And I believe a lot of that is due to how they'll take a successful black person like
Obama?
Oprah Winfrey,
Oprah Winfrey.
Say, and Jay-Z, and they'll highlight everything they do, and everything they do is news. Hey, coming out with a new cookbook, that's big news. Jay-Z signs artists from West Coast. That's big news, and that's going on every day all around but just being him. They want to show that, hey, Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Yeah.
you guys have made it. You're pretty much everywhere you you want to be in American society. It's one of you here or a couple of you here,
Including president.
so including the president.
Including the president.
But they can't take credit for that. The people elected Obama.
Right.
The people elected Obama. They didn't say, hey, let's all the whites get together. You know what? Let's put a black man in charge for 4 years here. They tried everything they could. They fought tooth and nail for Obama not to make it in that White House. And
Right.
the people said, no, let's try the black man out. We
Right.
tried all you old crusty bullshitters out. You know what I mean? So let's give a young brother a chance, and see where he take the country. And yeah, he was reelected.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah,
Strong 8 years.
strong.
Pulled the country out of the recession, out of one of the worst crashes ever.
Yes, he did.
The economy improved, the stock market improved. I couldn't be happier with Obama. And my thing is, like I said, I would love if every descendant, it's called, I was introduced to a group called ADOS, ADOS,
Yeah,
African Descendants of Slavery.
Righteous.
And, the guy who even started the group started going back and forth with me and everything else like that.
Really?
Yeah. It turned into a whole, literally thousands of tweets. Like, it turned into a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, listen, I think it would be great if every, black person in America who could trace their lineage back to slavery got $1 million and 100 acres. I think that'd be great. Just don't think it's realistic, because 80% of non-black people in America are against cash reparations. 80%. Like the country
And
as a whole.
that's why I'm telling you, they'll highlight Jay-Z and Oprah and whatever actress.
Y'all don't
it
need it
is at
anymore.
the time.
You're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Ask Jay-Z for it. He got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Damn, ain't y'all
you're richer
hip
than
hop?
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all cool,
Yeah, no, I feel you. And my whole thing was, number one, it was, I said, possibly, just a suggestion is, listen, over the course of your lifetime, you will make $1 million more in salary with a college education as opposed to a high school education, on average.
So it wasn't something that you just threw out
No,
there
no, I
as
researched
an
it.
idea.
I researched it. It's basically $1 million payment over time, over the course of your life, as well as allowing all these people who would not have gone to college because they don't want to pay for it and they don't want to have the loans to go for free and to finish, and to start their career with zero debt as opposed to $100,000 or $150,000 worth of debt.
Yeah.
$100,000 per person. You're talking about 15% of the population. We're talking about trillions of dollars.
True.
And it's one of those things where all you're doing is improving the workforce of the country.
Right.
You're having more educated people, and people who might get a degree in business because they know they'll have to pay back a loan, might go and do something for their own communities with their degree. Because they know there's no loan at the end of the day, so they could more pursue their passions. I felt it was a win-win. Do I feel like this is the only thing that needs to happen? No, I don't. But it was what I felt could be a basis of this, and it's already happening. Like in Georgetown University, who actually, that school was part of the slave trade at one point.
Gotcha.
They bought and sold slaves at a certain point in their history. They went and actually are offering free tuition to the descendants of those slaves. So it's already, this whole college tuition
You
thing
have
is
to
already.
do the 23andMe or the what's that, the where you trace your history back to what's match what is it?
Yeah, the whole ancestry.com.
Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
Some shit like, yeah.
Be careful about those, because they actually are using those to solve murders.
Okay. Well, they got my DNA. They got my shit. They came and got my shit in Chino. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you in here for a gang-related crime. Let's get that
Let's
swab.
get that DNA. Yeah.
So
But that's actually like one of the companies said they actually share their data with the FBI. So
that's slick. That's slick, and that's good to know. But I wouldn't go on that shit anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 'Cause, I may, if it was something at the end of the rainbow, but just to know who I'm connected to and who this was and that was. Yeah.
It's one of those things where I didn't mind that I was getting attacked. I mean, I gave my
Right.
opinion. I feel as part of the
You're
conversation.
supposed to stand on what you say.
Yeah, and I stand behind it. But like I could tell you that I did a follow-up. I did a poll where I asked, I said, and I didn't even tie this into the whole reparations thing, but obviously it was. I said, if you had a choice between a free college tuition worth $100,000 or $25,000 up front, which one would you take? And there was over 1,000 votes. 2/3 of the people said 25,000 up front.
Yeah. I'm currently reading The Gift from my daughter for my birthday. She gave it to me for my birthday.
Okay.
The Contagious by Jonah Berger. It was one of the books that Nipsey was reading or had read, and she gave it to me for my birthday. She bought it for me for my birthday, and I'm like about 40, 50 more pages left, and it's about what makes things go viral. And and he did all these studies, and I believe he went to Harvard or one of these Ivy League schools. And one of the last things I read is so funny is that if you tell somebody, I'm gonna give you 15% off of a certain item and the item costs a certain amount, or if they tell you, I'm going to give you $25 or $30 off of this, depending on the value of the item, either the percentage would be more attractive or the actual dollar amount would be more attractive. And in this case, in your study, it seems like the people like, well, I'm not guaranteed to do nothing with the college education. I'm not guaranteed to, to even graduate or pass, everything that I'm going to face to get that. So guess what? Give me the 25 now. I'll take that and parlay that into what I want to.
Right, because people in the comments are like, I'll take the 25,000 because you can flip that real quick. And it's like, really?
Exactly.
Without going to prison or ending up dead?
Right.
Flip it real quick? I wish I could flip 25,000 real quick. I wish I could.
Yeah, pay bills for 4 months. Yeah, you'll flip it. You flip it right to where it's supposed to go.
Back to where it came from.
Yeah.
The government. And think about it. If you give an average 18-year-old coming out of high school $25,000, how long is it going to last him?
Till he go to the car dealership.
Right.
And go to the mall.
And that's it.
Yeah, and he probably gonna have $5,000 to $10,000 left, and
if that.
I'm saying if he's frugal enough, you know what I mean.
If he buys like a Honda Civic.
Yeah, I mean he's still gonna pay notes on it and everything, but if he got good credit,
put the down payment on it.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be a lot of money that don't already stay in the black community. You know what I mean? Because we're the biggest consumers of everybody else's shit.
Yeah.
Note to Tray Deee, promoting my thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, man. So I'm hoping, my whole thing was y'all can go ahead and attack me all you want and call me a whatever you want. Call me the devil, call me the culture vulture, call me this, call me that. I'm here to start a discussion over this. Mm-hmm. I have no say in this. So getting mad at me is not going to matter.
But I think you're entitled to an opinion.
Absolutely.
As is the next person.
As is every person.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
As is Bernie Sanders, whose opinion they care about the most.
And it's not an idiotic opinion. It's not like, well, you know what? Shit. I think if they gave all the blacks cars, you know, to get to job interviews and shit like that, and gave them alarm clocks and new cars. You know what I mean? That'll solve the whole.
That'll fix the problem.
You know what I mean?
That would be ignorant.
Then, exactly.
Yeah, because really, as the conversation went, it's like, you know, well, what about people that graduated college? Well, then you could do loan forgiveness, or you could give, you know, tuition for a graduate degree. You know, it could keep going. You know, I mean, you can go get your master's, which will even further your ability to make money over the years.
Right.
Get an MBA. You know, get a law degree. And you know, completely paid for.
And it's commonly the investment of the time required to accomplish these things that deter people from pursuing them.
Right.
People want that instant gratification.
People want that 25K right now.
Shoot that. I know what I can do with that. I can go get this. I didn't want that. You know, you ain't even planning on the flip. Ain't even a part of the equation.
Right.
That was like, let me flip what's left.
And I can tell you, as someone that has tried everything from buying cocaine to giving rich guys I know money for real estate investments without any paperwork because they're my friends. I can tell you that when you try for the quick flip, you know, where you try to double your money real quick, every time I've tried that, I've managed to lose every penny. Every time.
That's a great lesson to tell
every
people
time.
Too. You know, a lot of people wouldn't admit that, Vlad.
Listen, I bought a kilo of cocaine with a friend of mine, and he stole that money.
Yeah.
He stole that money.
Yeah.
I ran into him once, like years later. Oh, no, I'm going to pay you. Yeah, just, here, take my number. I'm going,
Wow.
And you know,
he
returned my call once, and that was the end of that. He can keep it, man. I'm fine.
Come meet me over here by the strip mall. I'm 10 miles off the.
I'm going to give you part of it. Yeah. I never got none of it. You know, and I invested with this one dude. Once again, then he got busted by the feds or some other shit, and that money was gone too. Trying to quick flip your money does never, ever work the way you think it is.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. All the money I've ever made through investments have taken years.
It has.
Slow grind, watching your money grow year after year, not touching it, letting it reinvest. That's the only way I've been able to make money.
One thing Meek Mill said the other day, it was like, shit, I've been in the music game for 13 years. I just started making money the last 2 years.
Yeah. Facts.
You know? So, I mean, everybody thinks, hey, I got a record out now. I'm supposed to be rich and famous and driving Bentleys and all that. That's not how it goes down. And one thing I used to do, you know, I have homies that when I reached a certain level of success, they, you know, figured like, man, you know, let me hit D up and see. And I straight let them know, bro, I don't mix this money with, you know, the street money.
Yeah.
So, you know, and if I fuck with you strong enough and you in need of something, I'm gonna give you that. And what you do with it and how you do it, good luck to you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not looking for nothing back out of it.
Oh, yeah. One of my friends, when I started making money, wanted me, you know, to finance his weed grow operation out of his house. And I'm just like, I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not exactly legal. I mean, it's not totally illegal, but it's not exactly legal. You can still get busted. And
everything confiscated.
And everything confiscated. I'm like, I didn't go all this way to invest in these weird, semi-legal, illegal businesses. Like, you know, I'm like, why don't you start small? And I ain't trying to hear that shit. And he got mad at me for, you know, for trying to give him advice.
Right. Because you got it.
Because I got it.
Yeah.
Because I got it. Well, listen, I hope within our lifetime we'll see reparations of some sort.
I do too.
I sincerely hope so. Everyone who's mad at me can watch this and can pick this apart. I sincerely hope there is.
And yeah, you know, I guess I'll be a coon now then for not checking you about, you know. Yeah, you was right in front of that motherfucker. You should have told him stay out our business. And I don't see it like that. I believe every human has a right to his opinion.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's an intelligent opinion, you can either like it or don't like it, but it's just an opinion.
Right. At the end of the day, I'm actually on the same side.
Exactly, but if they don't see that far, I'm just trying to
I'm supposed to be on the same side,
that,
but not say anything past that. I just need to silently be on the same side.
hold the sign.
Yeah, hold the
Just
sign.
stand there
Shut
and
up.
hold the sign and shut up.
I'm not a hold the sign kind of guy. I get paid to talk. So you're going to hear what I have to say whether you like it or not.
Speak on it. That's right.
Tekashi 6ix9ine. Since last time
I
we
like
met,
the SnitchNine. That just flows so perfect.
Tekashi SnitchNine. Since last time we've talked, he has taken the stand. We've actually gotten a hold of some of the audio from the courtroom. Did you hear any of it?
Yeah, I heard a couple of pieces.
Yeah, apparently, even though you're not allowed to record in the courtroom, apparently someone snuck in some cell phones or whatever.
As they should. The biggest case in the biggest case on trial right now.
Right.
Yeah.
They managed to get it to me, and it's a news source, even though this wasn't actually legally obtained. As a news source, we could put out stuff like this as long as we were not involved in the attaining of this.
That's dope.
Yeah, this is how Watergate and all these other kind of things came out in the media, and the media didn't go to prison for it because they weren't responsible for stealing the stuff. They just got a hold of it and put it out to the public.
Exactly.
So I had the ability to put this stuff out, so you actually got to hear Tekashi on the stand. When you heard him testifying and answering all the questions the way he did, what'd you think?
Well, actually, I heard a couple of snippets of him incriminating other people, and I was just like, this is what goes wrong. I'm going to say it like my brother-in-law Capone from 6 say. When you take something pure and authentic, like gang banging that started here, not saying it's good, I said pure and authentic. And then you take it outside of here and you mix it. It's like watering down dope, And he was never built for this. We've been laughing about this for like 3 or 4 years. Suck my dick and, I'll be in your city and what y'all gonna do and all. No one with a rational, logical thought process would antagonize the world the way he did if they were really on some G shit, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't gotta move like that. My gangster speak for itself. You know what I mean? I want to come to Houston and get all my fans. I'm the hottest shit in the world right now. I want everybody to come out and scream my motherfucking name. So am I gonna start some shit with the most major motherfucker in Houston in the last 30, 40 years?
Rap a lot, James Prince. Yeah.
I'm probably not. So he was they just put him as a puppet for all the antics that that they was putting down, and it just when they saw that it was gonna come to something real bad for him, then they figured out we been cheating him and doing all this to him. We might well knock him off, and it's so cold. In Streets Gonna Cry Part 2, a novel I wrote, it's not out yet. Part 1 is out. I described a scenario similar to what happened to him. It's like he didn't, all his usefulness is pretty much beyond our control. So let's do the coup de grace. Let's get rid of him. And why he's the hottest thing, and all the bread is coming right here. So and they're paying the price for them believing that karma, destiny, fate, preordainment, whatever you want to call it, for thinking that would be allowed to take place, and them to pull that boy from where they pulled him from, encourage him to become who he was, and then leave him hanging, leave him out to dry like that. So, it's like everybody getting what they had coming. Him for talking all that big old boss shit, and them for supporting and encouraging him to do it while they was raking in all that cash. And
I talked to BG Knockout about this recently. And, Tekashi was part of the 9 Tray Bloods
right.
In New York, in Brooklyn. And BG said that it's really the 9 Trey's own fault.
Well, it's their fault, ultimately.
I think so.
Yeah, ultimately
Yeah.
it's their fault. You know what I mean? So I hope it was worth it. That's all I could say. Because
Right.
you got to know what the hell you're getting into before you get into it.
For letting this guy into their ranks. You said there's no possible way. You know, we kind of brought up this whole scenario of like, you know, he's from Nutty Block. And I'm like, you know, what if I told you I wanted to join Nutty Block? And he just like laughed and was like, you know, just thought it was the funniest thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. How would I process that to even tell you how I would respond?
Right, but
yeah.
But here you have this rainbow-haired Puerto Rican Mexican kid without any sort of gang banging anything on his resume, without any sort of real violence even.
Yeah.
Like, you know, or fights, or, you know, his own baby mother said that she's the only person that, you know, he's ever fought that he knows about, because he used to beat her up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that whole situation.
Well, hold on. Well, it really wasn't a fight, but when he ran back out the airport.
The airport situation. Yeah.
That.
When he had a bunch of guys with him, though.
Well, he could have kept going.
He could have.
But he came back and did whatever he could do. So he wasn't no straight outright hoe.
Yeah, she
I wouldn't
said,
look at him as no, he was, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and she even said that was the first time she had seen him fight of any sort. Did you ever see him fight a man?
No.
So
I seen him try to fight for the first time ever in my life at the airport. When they called that
airport video, yeah.
And mind you, I've been with him 7 years. I've never seen him fight a dude until that incident, that it was caught on camera.
Great. He was on camera too and all that.
He knew he was on camera, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, there's that.
He's done now.
I'll give him that.
Done.
But
he's done. Can't nobody of street value or of any merit or any principled individual embrace that guy when he's supposed to get out in a couple months or something.
Possibly.
Yeah.
You know, and I talked to a lawyer in New York who has been following the case and so forth. And I said, you know, what do you think? Do you think he's actually going to get out with time served early next year? He goes, well, it's a strong possibility, and here's why. When it comes to witnesses, it's a very mixed bag. You have someone that tells you that they're going to be a witness, and they get on the stand, and they don't talk very well, they mumble, they don't remember nothing, they're not well spoken, they don't give details, they're evasive.
Right.
You know, when the opposing attorney starts to cross-examine them, they fall apart. It doesn't really help some of the time.
True.
Not with Tekashi. Tekashi was very eloquent, very well spoken. He gave details. He expanded. He told about people that, you know.
Is it a word more expansive than?
Yeah, I mean, he dragged Trippie Redd into the conversation, said that he was gang affiliated. He dragged the Cardi B thing. I think was fake.
Jones.
I think the Cardi B thing was fake.
You think it was?
Well, it wasn't. It didn't match the transcripts. The story got out, but it didn't match the transcripts. But the Jim Jones thing was real, although there is a tape recording of Jim Jones saying that he should be violated. And there was already other snitches kind of in the camp. They were recording phone calls and wires were tapped and stuff like that.
Before they even decided to scoop him, before the feds even...
There was the driver. You know, the whole kidnapping thing that happened was all recorded. We have the film. It's up on our YouTube channel right now. Go check it out.
Yeah, I will.
Like the actual kidnapping, the driver that they used had one of those dash cam recorders and recorded the entire thing. And apparently he had already gotten busted. I guess he was an illegal alien, and he agreed to be an informant for him in exchange for them not deporting him or something like that. So he basically recorded the whole thing without them knowing and then called the police right afterwards to let them know.
That's
you know, it's funny. I like to say that, you know, that the thing that Trump is being impeached for is the same thing that brought down the 9 Tray Bloods is talking on the phone. Saying too much on the phone.
Yeah.
It's the same type of thing, because all these phone calls, because they could actually do real wiretaps on people.
NSA. Yeah, they can.
Yeah. So a lot of these phone calls were recorded. And, you know, what he told me basically was that he is such a good witness
Right.
that they're going to
They
be
think about
lenient.
making him an actual agent now.
Well, and then there's the theory that he was an agent the whole time.
Mm.
There's that part.
Mm.
That maybe he had, you know.
I don't take him as being that smart. I don't. I'm not giving him.
Well, it's
that
not them
much
being that
credit.
smart. It's
Him.
whoever put him
Him.
into that situation.
I don't think he can carry that. He could carry that shit off in the midst of all that shit going on. Because when you in the midst of gang banging, you know, a motherfucker might get shot right there. Somebody might get robbed. It might be, you know, a shootout. It could be all kind of shit. And, you know, to be able to operate under that pressure and still maintain your undercover status and all that, I can't give him that much credit for being that brilliant of an actor.
Yeah. Well, Shotty got 15 years. He took a plea deal.
That's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, in the scheme of things. In the scheme of things, I mean, he gave actual information about stuff that he did and he was involved in and he was behind orchestrating. Yeah, that was a deal, I believe, that they offered him. It's not ever good to have, you know, double-digit years, but in the scheme of things, I believe he probably could have got more than that if he would have probably took it to trial. Or
Blown trial.
what have you.
Yeah, it's a strong possibility because they have all types of wiretaps. And then this was before Tekashi took the stand. Think about that.
Oof.
Think
Yeah,
about
so
that.
I mean, I know people might, you know, oh, 15 years, you institutionalized, oh, that's too long, I can't do a year, all that. Yeah, you in that lifestyle, you gotta know what come with it. It's usually a graveyard or a cell, you know what I mean? So that's all part of it.
Yeah, well, I believe the guys that were involved in the kidnapping, they still have to be sentenced. Well, there still has to be a verdict, I think, in that part of the trial. They were saying the whole thing was fake, that he had orchestrated that whole thing, that it wasn't a real kidnapping. It was just
Because
you
he
know,
was a publicity
yeah,
stunt for his
it was a
music
publicity
about
stunt to
drop
make
and-
people feel sorry for him because he had been trolling so hard and doing a bunch of out-of-pocket stuff. You know, it's going to be.
But was it an actual kidnapping though? It was.
Seems like it.
Okay.
Seems like it because it was his former bodyguard.
The closest nigga to you will do you and try to screw you. That's what Goldilocks said.
Yep.
You know, and on another day, you know, that was one of the realest lines ever. You know, because you can't be betrayed by somebody that's not close to you.
Suge actually said that exact same thing. There was a jailhouse interview.
You
that he
learned
did.
that. You learned that.
Yeah, he
fast.
said I'm not worried. He's like I'm not worried about my enemies. They can't borrow my car or come to my house or set up a meeting with me. And you know, the whole situation, the Tams parking lot situation, was done through a friend. It was Terry. Him and Terry were friends.
Yeah.
That wasn't an enemy.
Yeah,
wasn't
but Terry
beefing with
didn't
Terry.
set him up. Terry
Well,
didn't set him up though.
Yes, that's true. But let me see how I'm going to phrase this. He was walking into a situation that he thought was friendly with other people that he knew and so forth.
But Terry was going to back his play all the way through it. That's the kind of friendship he had with Terry Carter. I used to call Terry Carter on the phone from prison a lot. He was, for the record, he was the Eastsider's manager.
Yeah,
before
I know that.
went to prison. No, I know you know. I'm just
Yeah.
confirming.
Right.
For those who might, well, how you know? You know what I mean? Me and Terry was kind of close. So I would call him sometime and he'd be like, yeah, Suge ass just left, man. You know, he had me over here fucking with these Germans, man, getting his money. This motherfucker a damn fool, man. Yeah, what's going on? No, and we just started talking and, you know, he always would mention like, you know, when he had seen him or he talked to him or stuff like that. So they had a strong friendship.
Right. And I'm not trying to say that Terry set him up.
Right.
Let me just say that because I could see how presenting it that way would look that way. And I've never met Terry, but I have a lot of respect for what he represented.
Right on.
But from what I understand, and I've talked to people that were there around the situation, Suge was there because he was supposed to get a check from somebody around the NWA movie, and there was supposed to be some sort of negotiation or something, and potentially he was supposed to talk to Dre and some other things. So he was potentially going there under good,
Auspices.
Auspices, yeah, exactly. With people that he knew that probably thought it was supposed to be good as well.
Right.
They weren't trying to set him up, but then he went over there and he ran into Bone, and then those two kind of have a history that's not very good, and Bone is kind of on Dre's side, and then things kind of escalated.
Well, being the position that Terry Carter had amongst the Damu faction, he probably felt that he could intervene and ameliorate the situation. You know what I mean? So it was like no matter what he's feeling or what his intentions is right now, I got enough status to where once we all come together right here, it's like, look, man, if y'all don't feel he deserves this or whatever, look, throw the man something, you know what I'm saying? Terry always negotiating, sticking and moving. I know you done heard this about him, anybody speak on him. He was a man of getting his dough. So he would have been trying to make both of them see a solution to the end of what, man, we all homies. Why is we sitting up here tripping off all this bread they got? Look, just go tell them to cut a check for this. I give you that, and we, you know what I mean? So Terry thought he could, I know Terry, he thought he could probably intervene and calm the whole situation. And things just happened spontaneously. Terry Carter always figured that it was a way to solve a situation where everybody could come out ahead, and without no violence or, burnt bridges or whatever. And because he had went through a situation with Ice Cube with Heavyweight Records and stuff, and I think he regretted, just from me talking to him and just how everything had went down, how that could have been conducted a lot different. So he was more of a mediator in a lot of things, especially with his own people. I know he would have stepped in and mediate, and thinking he could bring everything to a peaceful conclusion for everybody that was involved.
Well, yeah, I'd actually heard that Suge was supposed to get a check from Ice Cube, and when he got there, Ice Cube said he was going to mail it to him or something like that. So there was some sort of negotiation of paying Suge something, because they were using his likeness in the movie. But, I actually spoke to someone that was there during the actual Tams parking lot situation, and they described how Terry got run over, and apparently he was actually still alive after they ran him over, but he was really, really badly hurt and bleeding internally, and by the time the ambulance came, it was just, he was gone. Really bad situation.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a big ass truck like that going over your head, I mean, that's just gruesome.
Yeah. Well, speaking of death row, I had Keefe D on last time.
Yeah.
Since the last time that we've met.
Right.
You watched the interview?
Yeah.
Whole thing?
Pieces.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I mean, he pretty much justifies whatever he's doing, and in his own mind, and I mean you entitled to say what you want to say, man. And I don't really got, like I say, I don't want to seem like I'm on his head or nothing like that, because it's not my place to be on his head. I know him personally, so anything I really got to say to him, I can find him and talk to him if it was that serious. But, I'm like, in that situation, I'm like, it was a cold part of history, and if you feel like you want to share that story with whoever, it's your prerogative. It's your prerogative. You know?
Yeah, well, he wrote a book.
Yeah.
he wrote a book, and our interview was based on that book. That's why when you watch certain parts, he's like, I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, well, in your book, you said X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So
he was
clearly you do want to talk about
He was debating with you on being controversial. I got a real kick out of that.
Right. He's like, I'm in the very beginning. He's like, I'm controversial. He's like, you controversial.
Yeah, you
Cut it out.
know you're controversial.
Cut it out.
Yeah,
I wasn't about to play that.
You know, I'm sure probably BG Knockout might have a lot more to say on it than me, being that that's his, you know, that's his native comrade from the CPT.
Right. And, you know, it was a long interview, like a 2.5-hour interview.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about everything, and there were some parts that didn't match up. I went and did some research after the fact, and I talked to people that were there in Vegas. So there's a whole part about how they saw Pac and Suge the day before, and
that didn't happen because
it didn't
they
happen because
flew in from New York
that same day.
And then exactly,
Right.
yeah.
So that part never happened.
Right.
You know, so is that him changing the story or him not remembering a 25-year event? Hard to say.
Real talk, because you can get some events.
Yeah. Oh, that was the day of. Oh, yeah, right. Okay,
Yeah.
that was earlier that day. Oh, yeah, I didn't remember. Yeah, I mean, that's just the way memories work.
That's true.
We don't know. It is still an unsolved murder, so there's so much that he can or can't say. You know, although he pretty much said it all as far as from my perspective. Like, I don't know how much more you can say in regards to that. But I felt, you know, a lot of people were upset that I even did the interview. And I felt like, well, this is such an important part of history, right? Tupac's murder is one of the most important musical events, I feel like, in the history of music.
And unbelievable how it's remained unsolved for so long, being that you can't take a rack of chips out of a casino. You can't snatch a rack of chips off the table and probably escape from out of one of them casinos without the whole force of Las Vegas Metropolitan coming down on you. So you're talking about a murder on the Strip, and, you know, people have to be detained and they cordon areas off, and y'all got tips that it might have been this and y'all didn't go raid and this. It's a lot of things that shows a lack of concern or, you know, lack of intensity to solve the case.
Me and BG Knockout were debating this, right? And he felt like...
Don't tell me how he felt. Just let me be unbiased.
Okay.
If you can.
Okay.
And then let me figure out who was right or wrong.
So we talked about how, you know, Keefe D did this interview and put his face out there to let everyone know, I'm Keefe D, I was involved in the shooting of Tupac. He feels that there might be a Tupac fan that might try to kill Keefe over this.
Nah, come on, bro. A Tupac fan would kill you dead, bro. How
Would
about
they?
that? Of course they will.
Would they?
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Hell yeah, they will.
Name me a time a fan of anybody has killed somebody.
I can't. Even if I
See
knew
what
it,
I'm
I
saying?
couldn't tell you.
Let's just take Tupac
what
out
I'm
the
saying
equation.
is, people, man, trust and believe me, bro.
Tell me one time, because it sounds good when you say it. Yeah, oh yeah,
Trust
man, I
me.
killed a motherfucker who did this. Yeah.
Do you think Suge was a fan of Pac before he signed him? Do you think all that whole hood was riding with him? Of course. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So it's people that already have a kill mentality that might be head over heels for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, fan-wise.
Right.
Like,
Well, to be fair, people got killed after Tupac's shooting.
Okay.
And I felt otherwise because I've never heard of a fan killing somebody over a musician. Just never heard of it.
Didn't they kill the girl that killed Selena? Did she wind up getting killed in
No,
prison?
she went to prison.
She just went to prison. She didn't get killed. She
Yeah,
went,
hold on.
Okay.
Let's look it up, though. Selena. Hold on. Let's look it up. Yolanda Saldivar. Nope, she's still alive.
Okay.
The woman that killed her is got life in prison
Mm.
with possibility of parole. Convicted of first-degree murder of Selena. She's still alive.
Okay. I can't think of nobody.
People have killed musicians out of weird, whacked-out reasons. Like, the guy that killed John Lennon
Right.
thought he was John Lennon himself and felt like this other John Lennon was an imposter and he had to kill him. I mean, that's just mental disability right there.
Yeah.
Mental
yeah.
illness.
Right.
But
right.
he didn't, but he's still alive as well.
Mm-hmm.
People love John Lennon.
Yeah.
Love John Lennon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Me and my wife was just talking about how, certain greats, even if you don't like the particular genre of music, you have to acknowledge them as great. And I mentioned Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney's great too. I think John Lennon was actually better.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. More creative.
Yeah, and then when he went out on his own, he really started doing the whole social injustice songs like Let It Be and helping people get out of prison.
I think Paul was maybe a little bit more business-minded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you hear people like, I remember when, so for example, Lil Xan, right? It's a white kid with a bunch of face tattoos. He was saying how he didn't like Tupac or.
I heard of that.
He said something derogatory about Tupac and then, a couple people stepped to him.
Right.
Wanted to talk shit to him. I think he pulled out a gun on one of them that tried to approach him, this, that, or the third. But I don't think anyone's actually going to kill somebody because they're a Tupac fan. I don't feel that way. Do you feel that way?
I would have to say that 23, 25 years later. How long Pac been gone? Like
96?
23 years?
Yeah.
Well, so if you're a real true Pac fan and not just somebody that got up on his music as you aged and, this was a great artist from back in this era. If you're really a Tupac fan, you either had to know him or been around when his music was pumping like that. So you talking about people now, got to be in their late 30s, 40s. They not finna go out and kill nobody for being involved in something that happened to somebody, because most people that age got kids and jobs and responsibilities.
Bills.
And and probably got a gun somewhere that got a little bit of dust on it, but it don't come out and do too much firing or, moving around unless a threat comes,
Yeah.
People that age really aren't into posing a threat unless absolutely necessary, I believe. So, I wouldn't think he'd be in no danger of somebody trying to get at him, because first you got to find him, and then, you got to execute it. Maybe if he was, maybe if it was a bigger celebrity or something, like, not saying that Tupac wasn't a large celebrity. I mean, somebody that would be mentally deranged and be so much into this person that he felt he had to find Keefe D in Compton and, or wherever he is now and carry out whatever his mission was. I don't think he got nothing to worry about.
What about Eric Holder?
Damn right. He'll forever be a target. Totally different situation.
Why is that?
Well, it was the betrayal aspect. This is your homeboy.
Was it?
Yeah, to me. Yeah, this was your homeboy that allowed you to come around him no matter what, especially the fact that you had a bad jacket, and he didn't just, oh yeah, oh no doubt, homie, yeah, slide back through later on, we gonna holler at you, and he could have did that easily.
And what, like set him up to get fucked up, basically?
Set him up to get knocked off, fucked up, whatever he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? You were able to get up on him so he never saw you as a threat. That's true. This my homeboy, but he got some shit to clean up. He dope, whatever. I heard him rap, whatever. I like his style. He a gunner, whatever. But homies is saying this. So until you get that straight, I can't fuck with you. And that's probably how all that came about. And it's just that the fan frenzy and the over fandom from his demise in that fashion, people actually saw him. You know what I'm saying? You seen the pictures of Tupac in the car, but people actually saw him get murdered. So
Yeah.
I believe that triggers a whole nother, a whole nother emotion and a whole nother sense of, rage and revenge.
Yeah. Well, I'd heard people died after the Nipsey shooting.
I'm sure they did.
I can't confirm it, but I did hear a few different stories
Neither
of
can
like
I.
cousins and like relatives and stuff like that got killed over this, houses getting shot up and so forth. But then again, a bunch of people died after Tupac's murder as well in Compton.
You can believe that.
War broke out.
You can believe
bunch
that.
of murders happened.
Oh yeah, you can believe that. It was a gangbanging situation.
Yeah, Southside versus Mob Piru. What's actually interesting is that I was offered to potentially do an interview with Eric Holder. But I would have had to basically make a payment for this interview that would have posted his bail and allowed him to get out. And I was not going to be the one responsible for that.
Somebody probably would have came at you for that, Vlad.
Probably. I mean, it wasn't really a conversation.
I'm just saying, if it would have got out that that's what happened and you was behind that and, oh, he built this motherfucker out for an interview and, oh, no, Vlad on the hit list.
Right.
Yeah,
Vlad's on the hit list.
You'd have made it to the hit list, Vlad.
I was not going to be the one that was going to get Eric Holder out of prison.
Salute for that.
He could stay in there.
Sharp salute for that.
I'll still do
bro.
the interview like over the phone, or if I could somehow get cameras into the prison system, I will gladly do it. Because that's my job. People are going to want to absolutely hear.
People will want to hear what he had to say.
But I was not going to be the one that actually posted his bail, and it was like, I guess it was like $1 million bail, but if I could come up with like 100,000, that was going to be enough to make it whatever, or 50,000 or something. I'm like, well, number one, that number is not even a number that I could remotely pay, and even if I could, I wouldn't do it anyways.
Right.
So that interview never happened.
Take out a second mortgage to do an interview with Eric.
I'm not doing that. Yeah, I mean, women are not as strong as men.
Some are.
Some are, yeah. That's true.
In rare instances.
Some are, yeah.
In rare
there's female
instances.
boxers.
Right.
I see Muhammad Ali's daughter, was it Layla?
Layla.
I see her out and about, in Calabasas and Woodland Hills sometimes. She looks like she could probably whoop my ass. She's big.
Yeah.
She's like 6 feet tall and husky.
Right.
And she knows how to box.
Yeah, and know what to do with them hands.
See what I'm saying?
She's a rarity.
She's a rarity. If I had to get in the ring with her, I don't know what would happen.
Right.
I just keep it 100.
I don't know what happened.
You don't know what happened either, because like I said, her dad was one of the greatest of all time. I'm sure she knows some tricks you don't know.
On the real. So, but apart from that,
women
it's like
are,
if you don't have enough emotional attachment to a woman to where you could berate her verbally and control the situation, where you have to resort to actually physically moving and threatening a woman, or resorting to actual violence to get her compliance, that's weak to me. All right, bitch, fuck you, I'm gone. You know what I mean? That's how, that's how you should handle shit like that. If it gets that intense.
I agree.
I'm not finna sit up here because you might beat the wrong woman and she might have cousins and uncles and all that, and they won't take to that, and then they won't find you somewhere. That could easily happen.
Yeah, or a woman.
Or she might cut your dick off.
Right. Or a woman might be beating you, and if you try to do anything in response, you're automatically the bad guy.
I will kill a bitch before I let her beat me.
Really?
Man, what? I'm a man.
I would walk,
I'm not
I'd
finna,
walk away.
I'm not finna sit here and let no female beat me. I mean, you talk, if a situation occurs where she dusts me off real quick, say Layla Ali or something like that, I'll be like, ain't this a bitch?
So if a female slapped you in the face, you would retaliate physically?
That's not beating me up.
Okay.
That's not beating me up.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm talking about kicking me in my ass, socking me in my ear, busting my nose, all this kind of shit. No, I'm not finna let no woman do me like that.
I feel you, but if let's just say she punches you 10 times and you punch her back once, who's going to get arrested?
More than likely you will.
Right.
More than likely the man will.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
That's what I'm saying. If you can't take a woman hitting you 8 or 9 times while you grabbing whatever you need to grab and making your exit, it's really no need to respond, Vlad. You're an abuser if that's and most dudes like that, I found over the course of years, aren't really big on aggression towards men. And that really make you a bitch in my eyes.
I agree. I agree.
So, yeah, I don't got no sympathy for him. She should have cut his balls off too and threw them motherfuckers fucking.
Well, one thing that Melvin Farmer said, that there's a common denominator between the Tupac and Nipsey murders, and that is pride.
Let me put it like this so we can get around to it. And this go for every time, particularly in gangbanging. And then it's very simple. See, it don't take no NATO meeting, no mixing chemicals to figure out the bottom line of shit. The bottom line is this. The only thing stronger than a man's pride is a mother's love. Every common murder have a common denominator you just named. From Nipsey Hussle on down, and every one of them be behind another man's pride. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even have to revisit it. I've seen this 48 years. And the one common denominator with all of them that got killed, gangbanging, is their pride.
You agree?
In what context?
You hurt somebody, a man's pride, in both instances. That person's pride was hurt.
No.
You don't think so?
No, because I think, and I know, based off being a gang member for 40 years plus, the mentality was, who the fuck do this fool think he is? This ain't even your business. It's like, it's not the same, because the Nipsey situation was gang affiliated top to bottom. It was a homeboy, he had a jacket, he was told to leave. All this allegedly, I wasn't there. So it was a situation, some hood business that took place. This by the guy telling Pac that, man, they go to dude that snatched my chain. And Pac being reactionary at that time like he was, it was like, what happened? The homie's like, what happened, homie? They asking, Tray, what happened?
Well, no, I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about how Orlando responded. Orlando's pride was hurt because he just got jumped.
Well, no, his pride wasn't so much hurt. It was just like, instantaneous. Like I said, the gangbangers mentality is instant get back. So when the Metropolitan Las Vegas police pull up and they asking all these questions and who you think and how did this look and all this, people like, first of all, I don't got nothing to tell you because I don't know what happened. I'm not trying to figure out what to tell you right now because I'm trying to get somewhere and figure out what just took place so I can have some get back before these dudes get out of Las Vegas. You talking about 2 California gangs. And if they didn't know where each one was headquartered out there, it wouldn't have been no retaliation out that way. So, and it was compounded by the fact that Tupac, you rushing and putting feet on me and all this, and you ain't even really. It's like a non-affiliated dude walking up and slapping a gangbanger like, "Punk, who the fuck you think you is? I don't care if you can't fight. You got to try to kill that motherfucker just based on the fact that nobody's supposed to be getting at you like that."
But isn't that all based on pride? You see what I'm saying? It's not like someone got killed because they owed somebody money. Someone got killed because they raped someone's sister. Someone got killed because
it was more of a violation
because
of
they
the ethics.
disrespected someone's religion. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's all like, here you have your your internal pride and ego, and someone came in and bruised it. And in both cases, their pride was so hurt by someone they probably looked up to that the only way to take it is to fix it internally, is to take that person's life.
That's one way to look at it. But all retaliation, basically,
It's based on pride.
you feel where I'm coming
Well, because and technically, an enlightened person doesn't have to retaliate, right? If you're enlightened and understand the big picture of things, and realize that an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind, and so forth, and you could somehow emphasize with a person as to why they did that, and you approach it with understanding as opposed to violence.
Me and you talked about the guy, my homeboy, stealing my dog out my backyard.
Right.
I could have handled that situation totally different. You know, I had a lot of support, and it was like, you want us to, or what you gonna do, and this, that, and other. And, I understood how he interpreted what took place as being an affront to his gangsterism. So I could understand the whole process of what led him to unscrewing my light bulb and laying in my backyard and stealing my dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, this is my homie who I figured was my homie, and he did me like that. Well, no, you ain't understanding why I had to do that. And once we hollered and came to an understanding of my motivation and his responsibility for doing what he did, we've been solid from the day after the shit happened.
Right, because
enlightened. I was enlightened to
enlightened.
be able to have empathy and
understanding.
Not just understanding. It's I put myself in his shoes.
Got it.
You know what I mean? And that's not empathy. That's
I think it's empathy. You
Sure.
are feeling what they're feeling.
I chose to
Empathy.
adopt his
Adopt
his
his
viewpoint
feelings.
and see
Yeah.
and see what I would have reacted the
you
same
basically
way.
saying that their feelings are valid. You're validating their feelings, and you let them know that their feelings are valid.
True.
And you understand why they feel that way, and you address it.
Yeah.
You may not agree with it, but you understand it. Melvin Farmer said some interesting things during our interview. He said that Crips and Bloods are anti-black. That's the reason why he separated himself from the 8 Trays. Although he's from there, he has not been actively gangbanging since he was 19 or something like that. Because he felt that those organizations are anti-black organizations. Whereas you see other organizations, they are not anti to their own race.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
As a practice, yes, I do. As a future, I don't think necessarily. I think we can take it and change it and make it into having some meaning beyond the destructive identification and execution that's been the norm for the gangs since the inception.
Right.
I think that now, with other areas picking it up like they are and trying to learn and it's spread, now it's like we're coming to the realization now after 50 years, 1969, that, I mean, we have families interspersed of both gangs, and it's not the same when you see red and blue today. I wear red sometimes. You know what I mean? I know Bloods that, have got more blue in their closet than anything, and it's not to disrespect your identification or your identity as being one or the other. It's just that it's just not that significant anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, Mob James, when I interviewed him, he explained how his daughter bangs his enemy Southside Crip.
Southside, yeah.
And he said that's God's payback to him.
Right.
Not only is she from there, but she actually bangs that, which is like his enemy set.
Exactly.
But he still loves his daughter, and he just has to accept that. It just is what it is.
It is.
Melvin Farmer also said that he felt like the gangs, the Crips and the Bloods, stopped the civil rights movement.
Shit, I wasn't around that heavy around,
He is
back
older.
then. So
He's like 70 years old.
yeah. Damn, Vlad, you gonna put me way up there
No,
like that?
I said he's.
I know. I'm saying,
yeah.
civil rights. Yeah,
I mean, not that you were
That
there,
was
but just from your perspective. I see what you're saying. You're too young to remember that.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I can't really even offer a valid opinion
Right.
because
Well,
I don't know how the police or the system
yeah.
identified Crips and Bloods at the beginning and chose to target them like COINTELPRO did, the Black Panthers and things like that. I don't know what defenses were put up to.
Fair enough. Where were you during the Rodney King riots?
In the pen.
You were locked up. That's what I thought.
A couple months. I just got locked back up doing my last penitentiary violation before I came out and met Snoop. Yeah. Everything took place in my career.
Well, Melvin was saying how the A-Tray gangster Crips were the ones who actually started the Rodney King riots.
And when they snatched Reginald Denny out the
truck.
truck, I mean, that was the most high profile.
Yeah.
And I think it did begin right there. To be honest, I think it did.
Yeah, because the riots things were just brewing during that time, and then that happened, and it was on tape, and it was broadcast, and that set off a chain reaction to everything. Mm-hmm. You weren't there, but obviously you felt the effects of it.
Not really.
Not really?
Not in Soledad, California.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
You were far removed.
Yeah.
When I interviewed Lord Jamar, he said that from his point of view, once the riots happened, the Rodney King riots happened, he sincerely felt that there might actually be a black revolution in this country.
You had heard about police brutality for years. Oh, the police be fucking up black people in the hood, da-da-da-da-da-da. That was the time that you actually got to see it, and this is multiple cops wailing away on a black man. So that's what definitely made it stand out, because you had the video evidence. And now you got video evidence being circulated now, but what we're looking at as evidence is really being used as psychological terrorism, really.
Based on what he saw on TV. You were locked up during that time, but did you ever feel that way? That there might actually be a revolution? And
I just hope the peace treaty would last. When I saw what was taking place and I was hearing reports of certain Crips and certain Blood neighborhoods and Bloods partying over here in the projects where the Crips was at and all that, I thought that was the best, outcome from the situation that could happen, and I just wanted that to carry on. And unfortunately, by the time I came home, conflicts had started brewing again and all that. It was too much to hope for utopia, but it was a good result that took place from that. And shout out to Cam too for coming with that song "Peace Treaty." You know what I mean? It was dope. It was a good, it was a great time. I felt to be not just black, but to be connected with the struggle of what our ancestors had, part of what they had went through. It was like we didn't get no justice, so this is our response. We ready to get out there and show y'all we are still, like Pac said, speaking to him, in LA, we riot, not rally. You know what I mean? And I thought that was a good example, like, y'all better know, don't come out here with that bullshit, because we going to tear this motherfucker up if y'all don't give us the respect we deserve. And I think it's done got away from that now with a lot of people, being more geared towards self in this day and age. But, that's just what it is. But I think that was a good time in history, and I just hope the peace treaty would have lasted longer.
Yeah, I mean, there was the Peace March after Nipsey's death. That got the 8 trays and the Rolling 60s
Beautiful.
In the same vicinity.
I posted a picture up of Madbone and Big U on my Instagram, and it went viral.
Oh, Madbone is an 8 tray, a prominent 8 tray guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Roosevelt Tellis, my guy.
Yeah, well, Big U wants, well, number one, he's very religious, like yourself. He's a Muslim, and he feels like he wants to go to heaven, and he needs to do certain things in order to earn his place back into heaven after all the bad things that he's done.
Yeah.
And it's probably a very long list.
He's thinking clearly. That's what that means. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm cool with Big U. He's been on the show.
No doubt.
We talk sometimes. Very respectful guy.
I told you that when you asked me about him a while back.
I remember he approached me about something over some bullshit that was going on that wasn't exactly related to us, but whatever. And even when he approached me, it was like super respectful and so forth.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Very, very good dude.
Yeah.
I have nothing but good things.
Man, me as well.
Yeah. And I did speak to you before our interview, because he has the kind of a fearsome reputation. So I wanted to see what it was going to be like. And actually, he was cool. No, I was even like, hey, do you want me to run the clips by you before I run them? He's like, no, do you. Yeah. Do what you do.
Yeah, so I know what I said. Don't
he's not tripping.
Yeah.
He's not tripping.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, man. Well, we're going to see what happens. Eric Holder's trial is coming up sometime in the near future, I'm sure.
It's no press being really...
Well, there's nothing to say, really. I mean, his lawyer quit. He's got some new lawyer, I'm sure. And I'm sure they're trying to figure out a plea deal. I don't think he wants to go to trial over this. That's not going to end well.
What's the plea for killing somebody on camera?
Yeah,
what's
and
the
shooting
plea?
2 other people. How's that? Let's not forget that part.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not forget the other 2 people he shot.
No, we can't.
Especially one of them, Carrie, who I interviewed, who ended up back in prison and almost got violated for getting shot.
Yeah.
So how's that?
And you was kind of instrumental in helping him.
I wouldn't say I'm instrumental, but I helped get the word out. We put out an interview that went viral, and
that's being instrumental. You can only do what you can.
I do what I can.
Yeah,
I do what I can.
No doubt.
Well, Amber Geiger, who ended up shooting, I guess, her neighbor.
Man, the bitch who said she was in the wrong apartment. I
apartment.
thought it was my apartment, and so I just shot because I seen a black man making a sandwich in my apartment. So whatever she said.
She was found guilty of murder.
Great.
By the time this comes out, she might be sentenced, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's celebrating this whole, she found guilty, this is so great, but we'll see what the sentencing says. Because she might turn around and get a couple years.
True.
And then everyone's going to be even more upset.
Like Felicity Huffman got 2 weeks in prison.
2 weeks in prison.
While the sister sent her kid to a school district, that wasn't valid, and she got 5 years.
Yeah. Well, she
Imagine that. 2 weeks to 5 years.
she faces between 5 and 99 years in prison under Texas law and will not be eligible for probation.
The sister?
Well, the girl who killed him.
Oh,
Amber.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what she faced. Oh, I thought you meant the
Felicity?
the sister with the sister that they gave her 5 years to. I thought you said she was facing from 5 to 99 years. Yeah, it was the sister. She sent her kid to another school district, and they found out about it. And
Yeah, she got 5 years?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I heard something about that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But this
I don't
one
know if
here-
it was actual prison or probation, but she was sentenced to 5 years and something. I was reading the comparison of justice, and we know how them scales is tipped. That's why the bitch got the blindfold on. So
hold on, let's take a look.
Felicity Huffman paid close to $500,000,
Give
and
her
what
2
else
weeks.
she paid? Got 2 weeks, pleaded guilty. Now I want to see what happened with Lori Loughlin and the Giannulli, the couple that they daughters, the Olivia Jade and all that. I want to see what their outcome, because they still pleading innocent, like we didn't do shit.
Well,
I want to see what the outcome of that case is.
there's a little more to this case, apparently. The woman who went to jail for 5 years.
What
went to
she
prison for 5
did?
years.
What was the backstory?
She had prior drug charges. And
What that got to
apparently,
do with sending her
hold
kid
on,
to
hold
school?
on. Police source. She was picked up for dealing drugs to an undercover.
What year was this?
This was somewhat recently. This was March of 2019.
Wow, that's very recent.
She had a drug dealing case to go along with it. Wasn't just that. She didn't just get 5 years for switching schools. There
I
was
thought
also-
that was very severe. I thought that was
Yeah,
ridiculously
yeah.
severe.
There
Okay,
was
that makes
there was a
sense.
drug dealing case
That
that
makes
was
sense.
rolled into this whole thing.
Exactly. Ran concurrent.
So it was
It
one
was-
of those things where the community started to get behind her because they felt it was unfair because she was trying to help her son. But then you throw in that drug dealing case and they're like, well, can't really support someone
Ooh,
who's,
you can't. You
who's
can't.
also drug dealing.
You can't.
Selling to undercovers.
You can't.
This
You
is not
can't.
just a hardworking mom that's out there helping her son.
That's trying to get her son in a better school area and all
You
that.
got to be careful about these internet memes, man, because people will post these weird, like, side by
but
side
it
comparisons.
was, it was attached to a lot of news feeds that were, considered as legit. So, it was just a story.
Yeah, and here's what happened. After she got arrested for the school larceny, then she was picked up for the drug dealing charge. That's what happened.
Got it.
You can't compare these two.
You can't.
The other woman is a rich woman who cheated the system to try to get her kid into a school.
White collar crime.
White collar crime. If her only crime, this woman from Bridgeport, if her only crime was putting her kid into another school, she probably wouldn't have gotten nothing.
She wouldn't have got 5 years. That's for damn
Yeah,
sure.
the 5 years.
It was amazing. Like, what kind of? I thought she was in
Well, that's the
Tennessee.
thing, though. Someone will send you an Instagram post or a meme, and it'll say like, this white woman got 15 years and this black woman got 5 years for the exact same thing, without mentioning the drug dealing part. You see what I'm saying? Now, if they were both drug dealers, then I got it.
Right.
But the reality is that you got caught for drug dealing.
That don't equate right there. There's no comparison right there.
There you go. That's what happened.
No doubt.
That's what happened.
No doubt. Yeah, walk that 5 off, sis. Go knock that shit down.
So Amber Geiger got convicted, though. We'll see what happens. She's facing for 5 to 99.
But that's like that shit to me is like catching or prosecuting foul police officers as well as officials who condone and perpetuate police brutality and police murders of minorities It's it's no balance. You know, the people that get behind these people that do this kind of bullshit, you don't never. It's like trying to scoop up fish with 4 holes in your net. You know what I mean? It's like you think you catching them and then they just slide right. Oh, not guilty. Oh, you know, what they could justify force, this, that, and the other. So maybe 1 out of 20, 30, 40 cops maybe get prosecuted.
Yeah, they actually showed a video. There was a what do you call the police officer in the courtroom? The bailiff.
Yeah, the bailiff.
There was a black female bailiff that after the jury, read the guilty verdict, you see this female black plaintiff kind of stroking Amber's hair, trying to make her feel better.
That wasn't real, was it?
No, that's real. Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome, huh? Yeah. If you don't know what that is, look it up.
Look it up.
Yeah.
I put up a list recently of the top 50 hip hop groups of all time. You guys made the list. East Side.
What?
Hey,
That's dope, man.
number 49 on the list.
I don't give a damn. We made the
We
top
made the
50.
list.
That's
Made
dope.
the list.
That's dope.
If I give you my top 10 real quick, it's, from 1 to 10, NWA, Public Enemy, Wu-Tang, Outkast, Cypress Hill, Beastie Boys, Tribe Called Quest, Mobb Deep, Ghetto Boys, and Bone Thugs.
Yeah. Yeah. We'd be hard pressed to replace any one of them people you named in the top 10 spot. I'm not mad at all.
Yeah.
I fuck with Tribe, all of them. NWA, they kind of set the standard for West Coast rap. It's Outkast. They launched it off. They launched the Brat. Props to her for going platinum, first female to go platinum, but they came out, they was going multi, and they had the whole wave of the. So yeah, that's a good top 10 right there.
Yeah,
I'm honored to have made the list, man. I'm telling you, because that, like we said about opinions, that's just another opinion. You know what I mean? People was getting bent the fuck out of shape about these lists. Oh, you didn't believe? I don't believe he didn't make it, and how you gonna put him before him? Because it's my opinion, dickhead, and I can put whoever I want wherever I want to put him.
And just so you know, if you look at, because people always want to focus on who you put before and after. Oh, you gonna put him higher than him or him lower than him?
Who came after us? Who's number 50?
Number 48 is Pete Rock and CL Smooth.
What?
And
that's my guy. Pete Rock is my guy.
And number 50 is Kid and Play.
Shit. Kid and Play ran movies.
Yeah.
Kid and Play ran movies, and they came out with dances, fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's shit. That's great company.
Yeah. And if I were to show you my 11 through 20, and I'll stop after that, is Run DMC, Fugees, UGK, 3-6 Mafia, Migos, EPMD, De La Soul, Eric B. and Rakim, Capone Noriega, and Brad Nubian.
A couple of them earlier groups, like the third and fourth group you name, I think.
UGK?
Uh-huh.
Fugees?
No, I know Pimp C and Bun B. I know the impact they had. Fugees, oh, God, yeah, no question about the Fugees. Who else you said was another down south group, I think?
Oh, Migos.
Migos. Yeah, I'm not
gonna do a list of just all old school people.
You bet not. Yeah. The Migos go out of shit. Migos I don't. Shit, that's valid.
You can't just say.
Man, the Migos go. I fuck with the Migos.
Yeah. EPMD, De La Soul, Eric B. and Rakim, Capone Noriega, Brand Nubian.
Shout out to
all strong groups.
Now, yeah. Well, I don't know. It has to be a preference, I guess, to where you was listening to hip hop at the time. Yeah. Because to us over here, Sadat X, Lord Jamar, Grand Poobah. Know exactly who Brand Nubian is. You know, all for one for all that shit. They was hot. They was doing their thing. But do their catalog make them 11 through 20?
I think so. I think their first
How
album.
many albums did they have, actually?
Well, they had a few. 'cause
I'm
remember-
not disputing it or debating
well,
it.
Grand,
I'm
Grand
just,
Poobah left, remember, after the first album.
Exactly.
And then that's when Punk Jump Up to Get Beat Down came out.
that was the shit.
Yeah, that was the shit.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of that album, but it was off that album.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a few strong albums. And then Grand Poobah ended up coming back, but then by that time, they were still sort of during the later part of their careers. But it's debatable. I thought the first one was a 5-mic source album, which was extremely hard to get at that point. Like it was
All of them
considered-
was unique and original.
Yeah,
Every last
it was
member.
it was a very important album, coming out very different than everybody else. And Grand Poobah back then was like Drake.
I
Like,
was
he
just thinking that they had that one album. He was. He was.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that one album that they had together. I'm thinking of ourselves based on the 2 albums that we had, and our album got cut off at 800,000, the second album, because we was having label disputes and all that, but it still went on to go over platinum. So I'm like, us against Brand Nubian, I wouldn't make no issue of it. Shout out to all 3 of them.
Yeah, well,
but
you should pick
it's
yourself.
a preference.
You should pick yourself because you're in the group.
I would never pick myself.
No.
I don't know.
I pick myself, like, when you talk about interviewers, I feel I'm better than anybody.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Oh, now you talking about in the booth. You talking now? You want to talk about that? Yeah. Anybody. I go in the booth with anybody and do my thing.
Well, fuck it. Let me keep going then. We stopped at 20. Let's go to 21. The Roots, Gangstar, Dog Pound, BDP, Salt and Pepper, 2 Live Crew, Ray Shremmerd, Black Star, Digital Underground, 8-Ball, and MJG.
Hitters.
Okay?
Hitters.
I'll keep going. Number 31, The Locks, The Clips, Goody Mob, West Side Connection, Dipset, Run the Jewels, Hot Boys, MOP, G Unit, Souls of Mischief.
Who in the fuck is Run the Jewels?
Run the Jewels, that's Killer Mike and LP. You don't know about these guys?
LP from Company Flow?
Yeah, that LP. They have a group together. You don't know about Run the Jewels?
Nah.
You should check them out. They're dope.
Oh, okay.
They're really dope.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
All right.
they spit. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You should check them out.
Dope.
But it's a newer group as well, so it's going to throw people off.
Ah.
The group
Gotcha.
it was formed a few years ago.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah,
I'll check it out, though.
yeah. You'll like it. Real lyrical, talking about
Dig that.
something. Yeah.
Dig that.
And then the final 10. Number 41, Naughty by Nature, Junior Mafia, Far Side, Alcoholics, Third Base, Das Effects, House of Pain, and then Pete Rock, CL Smooth, East Siders, and Kid and Play.
Now, the only one that I would question about was they as valid as us would be House of Pain. And then I would stop once I think about
Jump around.
when you any sports event where
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, major.
Jump around.
How
still-
many songs did Jump Around say? How many copies of the thing?
It was their first album. Let's see, House of Pain. Let's take a look. Their first album that had Jump Around on it. Fine Malt Lyrics is the name of the album.
They had something else besides Jump Around too. What else they had?
Well, the Jump Around remix by Pete Rock.
It was something else. I must have liked it another cut. I must have liked another cut off their album, rather.
It went multi-platinum.
Oh, it had to, man.
Yeah, it was multi-platinum. And that song is still, whoever got the publishing of that song is still getting a check.
Yeah.
Just a huge song. Well, I mean, I love their albums. I was just a fan of their shit, period. At the end of the day, these lists are based on your preference.
Right.
So if I like, House of Pain more than Pete Rock and CL Smooth, that's just who I like. It's just is what it is.
Man, look, you got naughty by nature in the 40s.
Yeah.
Some people would argue they belong in
Top
the
10.
top, at least top 20.
Oh yeah, people had a problem with the Locks being at 31. I mean, you know, people were surprised Digital Underground is in the group at all, is in the list at all, and I feel they absolutely deserve to be there.
They do. I was banging Sex Packets the other day.
Yeah, man. Far Side I thought was a legendary group. Alcoholics, I'm a huge fan of.
Me too.
Third
Shout out to
Base was
Taz,
dope.
J-Ro, E Swift, no doubt.
Gangstar is at number 22. People have a problem with
Primo and Guru, rest in peace.
They got a new album coming out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Premier's putting. I guess he has enough Guru lyrics.
Me and Primo be communicating, so yeah, I'm gonna make sure I get me a copy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go buy a copy rather. You know
course.
what I'm saying? But I'm gonna make sure I get it signed and all that shit.
All that good shit.
I can't wait to do a song with Premier. Oh man, and it's gonna happen. When we was doing the second album, the Deuces and Trays album, we actually recorded the Connected song we did with Mobb Deep in New York, and we also did the Roll With Me with Lil Mo out there. And Premier came through the studio, and he was like, "Man, I got something for y'all, but I see y'all working. Holler at me before y'all leave." And I think we worked for a couple of days and then slid out. But I'd love to get a track from Premier.
Well, I interviewed Anderson .Paak,
Got you. Dre's artist.
Dre's artist, and he talked about how he was in the studio when Dre and Premier produced the song that he was on, and how that was the first time they ever produced together.
Yeah.
And how he just described how they were both kind of just really careful with each other. You know what I mean? Because here are the two hip hop greats.
And he called me the next day and was like, "Yo, bro, I know this is your song. I know you brought this in, but I would love if I can use this for the album, you know, whatever I got to do." And I was like, "Nah, man, son, say no more, you know. Dre, DJ Premier, let's make history." So, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
And I remember there was, you know, for a long time, like in the 90s, that was the debate. Who's better, Dre or Premier? You know, Dre dominated this side of the world and Premier dominated that side of the world. And, you know, Dre had all this shit and Premier had Gangstar, but then he had like Biggie and like all this other important shit that he was producing. He was describing how they came together to produce that track and how dope it was.
Yeah. Yeah, them two behind the track, it can't help but come out smashing.
Yeah, man.
I fuck with both of them.
Yeah, I do too. I've interviewed Premier. I met Dre once very briefly.
Yeah. Private cuz.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had me come out and he played, well, I actually met Battle Cat out there and he was like, he had did some shit on Melrose of Santa Monica and he turned the little DJ shit out. He was saying somebody DJ skills was trash. They was giving out an award and Dre turned his own award show out or something. We met at Record One and he played shit for me till like 4 o'clock in the morning. And Dre a bad dude, man. You know, if he fuck with you, he fuck with you. If he don't fuck with you, he ain't trying to fuck with you. That's just how he operate.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he walked away from the Death Row catalog and turned around and made even more money.
Ingenious move.
Who could have done that but Dre? Who could have walked away from the Chronic, Doggy Style?
And you said something earlier you was talking about, it was like a temptation that you had where you could have, like the Eric Holder situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same situation. I equate something like that with Dre. Those are like tests from the Most High to see what matters most to you. Your integrity, your principles, what's more important, that or money, that or fame? What would you really give in for? And them tests come, and is how you respond to them based on how you'll get evaluated later on down the line. that's what I think Big U on right now too. You know what I mean?
Well,
staying righteous.
Well, Denzel Washington, he said that an actor will be defined more by the roles that he turns down rather than the roles that he takes. And that touched me when I heard it. And when I look through life, it was those times that I turned down money offers or business opportunities or relationships or whatever else that I'm the most proud of. More so sometimes than the things that I did.
Right.
Because I had the chance to take this money or do this thing that I was very kind of iffy on. And I would forego the short term, you know, pleasure, money, advance, whatever, because of my principles. Which is why...
You think them bad dope deals taught you a lesson too?
It was one bad dope deal.
Okay.
I wasn't a kingpin like that. It was just one. it was for a kilo though, so you know, it was for quite a bit.
Yeah. That was a move. That was a move.
It taught me that I'm not built for the illegal game. It firmly put me in the mentality that what I have to do has to be legal, that I'm going to only achieve success in the legal world as opposed to doing something illegally, because I really wasn't built for that. Because you know, you're putting yourself into a place where this person just robbed from you and the only recourse is violence, right? Can't call the police and say, hey, he just robbed me for a kilo of cocaine.
That's not gonna happen.
And I gave him this money with no contract or whatever else. Like, I can't sue him.
I think you could have filled out a contract and signed it in blood. I don't think it would have still been valid if it was
like
cocaine repayment.
Yeah, it made me realize that you can't do business with people where violence is the only way to fix a potential business problem.
And that don't even fix it.
Not really, yeah. It just sets off a chain of events. Unless you kill them. And even then, it might not fix it.
You said the perfect shit. It sets off a chain of events.
Because let's just say I got him beat up real bad, and then he finds out I'm the one who did it. So then he needs to hit back. Or I do something to him and I get caught. He'll probably press charges on me. You know?
It's a no-win.
It's a no-win.
Yeah.
So I said,
because you're not getting your money back, which is what you want anyway.
Not getting my money back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting nothing back. Yeah. And I've never gotten it back, and that's okay, because these days I make that amount of money fairly quickly.
Great.
It's not a big deal.
And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what you're testing on, those things that you have an opportunity to benefit from, but you'll have to sacrifice your morals and integrity in order to do so.
And it wasn't until this year that I finally felt a sense of closure to the situation. And I can tell you what happened when I was interviewing Freeway Ricky Ross, right, who was one of the biggest drug dealers, period.
Who,
you know, a kilo of cocaine to him is like
a dime,
a dime, like, you know, something you'd walk past at 7-Eleven if it was on the ground.
Right.
And he told me, and I told him this story, and he told me, he's like, well, think about if he didn't rip you off. Think about if that was a successful drug deal.
Woo, Freeway Rick's so sharp. He's
and
sharp,
I
man.
never thought of it that way, right? All I thought of, this guy ripped me off and I never got my money back. Yeah, and all these years, because at one point I came to a certain degree of closure. I said, well, you know something? That was actually my own fault. I went and gave this guy a bunch of money, and I'm sitting there being stupid and trusting people.
He asked you for the money, or you volunteered to get in business with him?
It was more of a volunteer. Because I'm thinking...
So you kind of beat yourself?
Yeah, I kind of beat myself. I had just seen the movie Deep Cover, and I got inspired, and I had a bunch of money, and I was looking to flip it quickly, and so forth. It's just me being stupid, right? And I'm like, it's my own fault. I volunteered it, whatever else. But that didn't completely sit well on me either.
Gotcha.
And then Freeway Ricky said, well, think what would have happened if it was a successful deal. You gave him that money. He sold the drugs, came back with like $10,000 profit. You would have probably reinvested, right? You would have probably doubled up. You would have re-upped, right? Think about where that leads. That successful drug deal could have landed me in prison for 10, 20 years.
Easily. It would have put you on a whole nother course in your life.
A kilo of
Had
cocaine.
it been successful.
Had it been successful.
You would have been on a whole nother course in your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have
facts.
turned into a major drug dealer.
You would have.
You know, because most people don't get to the kilo stage.
No.
I started out that way.
Right.
Because I had the money.
Right.
I had a successful recruiting business at that point. The money was coming in fast.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it.
And you like, let me do something.
Let me do
with
something
this.
with it.
Yeah.
My dumb ass should have invested in the stock market. But no, here I am trying to buy kilos. My dumb ass. Like, and when he said that, he said, well, think about what would have happened if he didn't rip you off and it was a successful deal and you stayed on that route. And it's like, my head exploded.
It had to. That's
My
the
head,
other side
my
of the
head
coin.
exploded, and it's like, damn.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best things that could have happened to me, actually, in retrospect. Him just saying, look, I'm just going to rip you off, and you're never going to do this again. Because the sting of this.
Of course, that's not why he ripped you off. He
Of course
ripped you
not.
off
No, he ripped me out because he wanted the money.
Piece of shit.
Yeah,
And you're
'cause he was a
supposed
piece
to
of
be your
shit,
friend.
right.
Yeah.
And honestly,
But-
had he stuck with me, seeing as successful as I am right now, and that was my homie who I was kicking it with every day.
Yeah.
Riding around with him, hollering at girls.
Oh, we all had those.
All that.
We all had those.
If he had stuck with me, he would have made 10 times that. Easy. 100 times that. But
Right.
he wanted that short-term
And
money.
he didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve to be in your life right
He
now
didn't
at this
deserve to be in
point.
my
What
life
you
or-
doing? What
or
you
ever.
doing? Yeah, exactly.
Forever.
Exactly.
Forever.
And also, it's acknowledgement to the wisdom of Freeway Rick. Just looking at, just by him posing that to you, it allows you to look at a lot of different things, by turning the diamond and seeing the way the prism shines from another facet, so yeah, man, that's top quality game right there. It's like, yeah, you thought you lost, but you maybe won. Chances are you won. Look at your life now and
Man,
compare. Because how many successful dope dealers is it?
None that I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell dope all my life and be successful. Never got to worry about the police.
I don't know any. I just interviewed Convertible Bert,
Yeah.
From Miami, one of the big dope boys out there. He had a
Right.
5-year run and got 25 years. For every year that he balled out, he got to spend 5 years in a cage. I interviewed Lil D, had about a 5-year run and got like 30 years. Story goes on and on. What's his name? Harry O is getting out after 31 years.
Down. I believe he touched down.
Not
He ain't-
exactly.
He ain't
Nope,
made
nope,
it yet?
nope.
Halfway house.
Not even that, I don't think.
Not yet?
Not even that. But the story was that. But I spoke to some people around him, and no, he's not actually out yet. They don't want to actually say when he's out because it's kind of a sensitive
It's
topic.
all people always do that.
People
That's the
always do
big
that.
mystery.
Yeah.
I'm coming home. No one knows when. I'm gonna show up and you're gonna see me. It's like
Yeah. But it's just ironic how he's getting out after 31 years and Suge's going in for 28 years. It's almost like a handoff. Like the irony of that is.
And I think he's gonna do some good stuff when he gets out.
Harry O?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I hope so too. I mean, Harry O's had a lot of time to sit around and think.
Man.
And that's one of the guys that was instrumental in Death Row.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Among other things.
Yeah, Denzel Washington, I guess he was financed to his first project and stuff like that. Harry O's an interesting guy. I hope to get one of his first interviews, if not his first one.
Yeah, no doubt.
Tray Deee, always a pleasure.
No doubt, Vlad.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Appreciate it, man.
Until
Thanks
next
for
time.
inviting me.
Peace.